Who here has read the book of Mice and Men? What about To Kill a Mockingbird? The Great Gatsby? The Hunger Games series? The Harry Potter series? What do all of these books have in common? Does anyone know? At some point in time, all of these books have been challenged, meaning somebody tried to have them banned, and most of them have been banned at some point in time. When the Constitution was written, the Bill of Rights was formed. In the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment calls for freedom of speech, which includes freedom of the press. As citizens of America, we have the right to write anything we want, to publish it, and to have it read. Banning books goes against these rights, which are built directly into the Constitution. Books are banned for several reasons and by several different groups, including the government. The government bans books for being a threat to national security or for being obscene. However, the majority of books are banned by public and school libraries. These books are banned for having offensive language, sexual content, or for being considered inappropriate for minors, among other reasons. According to an article by Michael Bruno, there have been over 250 attempts to ban books in over 30 states in the last few years. Since Banned Book Week was started over 30 years ago, there have been over 11,000 challenged books. And yet, nobody knows about these because there is no media coverage. Most of these books are challenged because one or a few parents are worried about exposing their children to controversial issues such as homosexuality, sex, or swearing. However, how are children supposed to go out into the world where these things are prevalent if they have never been exposed to them during their readings? Studies show that reading helps a child's development, especially emotionally. By reading about different lifestyles or even about everyday activities, children are able to gain empathy because they've gained insight into these different lifestyles. Banning books causes children to lose out on the opportunity to easily develop this insight and empathy. This means that when a child goes out into the world, they will not have the experience to know how to react to things well because their parents and school boards protected them by keeping controversial books out of curriculums in libraries. Most of these topics will be part of a child's life before they even graduate high school. If you ask a group of high schoolers whether they had ever heard swearing, sexual content, or had been around anything else considered inappropriate by the people banning books, they would all raise their hands. It is just unrealistic to believe that by banning a few books, children would not come in contact with these topics. Instead of banning these topics, parents should encourage their children to read about these controversial issues, create their own opinion, and learn the boundaries of society. The use of controversial books in education is common. Many previously banned books, such as Fahrenheit 451, Catch-22, The Catcher in the Rye, and The Scarlet Letter, are used in education, and some of them are even considered to be classic American literature. Books which just a few years ago were thought to be too scandalous or inappropriate to be read at all are now used in the classroom. Books used in the classroom are used to teach students life lessons to bring out into the world. And using previously banned books to do this, well, if that doesn't show you that books shouldn't be banned, I don't know what will. Banning books does not always stop people from reading them. In fact, it normally does the opposite. What's the best way to get somebody to do something, especially children and teenagers? Tell them they can't. For example, Randolph County, North Carolina, recently banned the book Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. This book was banned because one parent thought it was inappropriate, and it was an option for high schoolers to read over the summer. The school board banned it without even reading it. At the point of the ban, there were already 23 people on the waiting list at the county's main library. In response to the ban, the publisher gave away 100 free copies to high schoolers, and the library bought 4 more copies, 2 ebook copies, and an audiovisual copy. All the county managed to do was to encourage more people to read the book. Finally, I ask you this question. Books are banned for having sex, swearing, etc. The Bible has murder, adultery, rape, and incest. And yet, the Bible isn't banned. Why? I'll tell you why. Because firstly, the First Amendment calls for freedom of religion, and banning the Bible would go against this. But also, because banning the Bible would anger a good portion of this country, because it is the book which all of Christianity's teachings are based on. The Bible is used to teach people, especially children, all about their religion, life lessons, and what rules to follow. However, other books do this as well. And why is it okay to ban them? Banning books should never be allowed. It is up to parents and the readers themselves to decide whether a book is appropriate. And if they deem it to be inappropriate, they need to set it aside and not ruin it for everyone else. The practice of banning books needs to be stopped. As citizens of America, we have the right to read whatever it is we want. And we need to fight to ensure that this right is not taken away. Thank you.